Well, officially, I'd actually like to declare this episode 45/23/12 because it's the real GOAT's birthday. Michael Jordan, 62 today.
Really?
Yeah.
62? What was the
Mm-hmm.
flu game? 62 or 63 points?
Oh, man. What
Or
was that?
what was it? It was actually
Pizza.
the pizza, the food poisoning game?
Yeah, that one was 38 points, the
Oh
flu
man.
game.
Yeah.
The 60-point game, I think, was they lost that game, I want to say, because it was just Jordan basically carrying that team. But
Oh,
yeah.
I actually saw a stat the other day. I was watching, maybe this was on Saturday. There was like some old classic games on NBA TV. It
Mm-hmm.
was the Magic with Shaq versus the Bulls with Jordan.
Oh,
And I think that it said like out of all of Jordan's like 60-point games, they were like 2
mm-hmm.
and 4 or 2 and
Yeah.
5, something like that. So essentially like the games where he's just being God Jordan just don't work out. It's like actually turns out it's a team game after all.
Yeah, I mean, some of that's, I feel like correlation, like, oh, they're down, so he's shooting a lot. It's
Yeah.
kind of like Kobe. Why did he have 81? Well, because they were losing most of the game.
Right.
They're down double digits most of the game, and you're like, well, guess I'm shooting. Guess I'm shooting a lot. But,
Great fantasy quarterback.
oh,
That,
for
that
sure.
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe. Let me tell you, Kobe
Let
Bryant.
me tell you about Kobe.
All-Star game, man. Did you watch? Did you tune in? Did you like it? Why is
Yeah.
it all LeBron's fault?
I don't think it's LeBron's fault. I'm not sure why that's your position. I watched the majority of it. I went to bed before Tatum, I guess, ended the third game with the OGs winning. I don't know. I was not really thinking about it a whole lot
Mm-hmm.
until Draymond kind of struck a chord. Did you see
A
his?
mine. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he was talking on TNT, and he was like, the only thing I don't like about this is these young guys are getting to be on the All-Star floor, like the what they call them, the young guns or the
Yeah.
up and coming team. He's like, you work your butt off to become an All-Star in the NBA, and now you have these like classic guys like Dame, Curry. They're sharing the floor with these rookies. So I kind of agreed with him on that point, but my main takeaway was this. It's kind of like in business and in life. If something is not working or you're forcing it that hard, take a couple years off.
Yeah.
If I'm the NBA, I'd just be like, hey, we're going to still award all-stars at the mid point in the season, but we're just going to give the league a week off. And whenever nostalgia sits in, it's like the Seattle Supersonics. No one was that big on the Supersonics, but now that we haven't seen them in 10 to 15 years, we're hungry for them.
Now we're like, let's bring that back a little bit.
Yeah, so I think you play that game with it.
Yeah, I think the whole weekend was. I mean, it's Chuck's response to Draymond. I think was correct, basically saying, "Well, it was y'all who ruined it because you don't care."
Right.
And I think, I was looking back through historic All-Star game scores, and really 2016 is when, for me, it really got bad. And they really had to start changing because that was the first 196, 173 game. In 2013, it was, that's when it was like, okay, 140, 150 in the 2010s. And then 2014, 160. And then all of a sudden we're getting close to 200. And that's when, it's just like the guys don't care. So that's kind of like my LeBron joke there.
Yeah.
How do you go to an All-Star game and then decide the day of to not even wear the uniform? Like, this is what annoyed me is like, what the heck, man? Don't even wear the uniform. So I don't know if he was protesting the format or what he was doing there, but like, okay, you're hurt, but still, like, at least show up for the pictures. So I don't get what he was doing there, because if you knew it was bothering you, because they asked him after the game, he's like, well, it's been bothering me for a while and might have re-aggravated a little bit, but then step out and let someone else get that All-Star game honor, because like, it's not like you're going to get a bigger contract next time, LeBron, you're 40. And it's not like you're not going to be invited. You can still show up in your street clothes. So I don't know.
I've got my take on it.
Go ahead.
I think that he's a very calculated person, right? For the most part. I think that this is his way of starting a show, and he's using a big stage, that it is absolutely time for me to start taking a back seat. I'm 40 years old. I've been doing this for 22 years. I kind of carried us in the Olympics almost.
Right.
I carried AD for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, let me take a break.
But see, this would be the most LeBron thing ever. And this is not a critique of
Yeah.
him necessarily. This is a critique of the age we're in. You're taking a step back by making it all about yourself. Because you show up, you're the only one in the photo in street clothes. You're the one who's talking about, keep mouthing. They don't know anything about basketball. They don't know anything about basketball. Like, you make it all about yourself all the time, which is the game. I'm not complaining, but like, you can't say he's taking a back seat while also dragging all the attention on himself. That's the game. It's marketing. I have no complaints about the game. We all play it, but
I
you
think
can't say he's taking a back seat and then say, but keep looking at me.
I think he indirectly made it all about him. I think he can't help but absorb the spotlight. And the funny part about it, if you look at the uniforms, they kind of look like the Space Jam uniforms.
That was my thought too. I was like, oh, it's quite Toon Squad.
Is he like actually trying to bring that movie back? Because I know it didn't do well. I think it got like a 27 or a 30 on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's like his 3-point shooting percentage back in the day.
Yeah.
Hey. But yeah, overall the weekend. So I didn't mind them trying new things overall. Yeah. Now I have some solutions that I think, and we can get to that at the end.
Okay.
But you could tell, I don't know. It's bad. It's bad in three things. We'll go over the skills competition, the dunk competition in the game here in a second.
Yeah.
But my biggest problem, and it's I mean, LeBron is part of it, but it's actually like everybody. Like with the dunk contest, none of the big stars want to play. Like Jordan came out in the dunk contest, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But he would have been great regardless. But that was his big. Oh my goodness! Because at the time, you didn't get to watch. There weren't very many national games. You didn't get to watch, and then all of a sudden, boom! Here's this kid you're reading about, and he's in the stage. And so, LeBron early on never participated in the dunk contest, and I can't remember the last big name star. Blake Griffin? Who was the last star?
I would say the last great dunk contest was Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon when they went back and forth there for a couple years.
Yeah.
But yeah, not like a major, like you're saying, like, hey, a major star in the league. I'd probably say
or just even an all-star.
Blake Griffin.
Yeah. So it's been 15 years-ish since the last real all-star competed in the dunk contest, which, whatever. But let's start with the skills competition and Chris Paul doing the most wrong one, and the most Chris Paul thing ever done. So in the skills competition, you do the passing, the shooting, and then the dunk, layup, and the other team goes. So check this out with Wemby. Chunking.
Oh, he's not even worried about the shot. They're just going for time.
So they don't even try with the shot. They're just chunk, and going for the time. And then I love this audio here.
Look at this. This is a unique strategy. It's all about the bounce. The passes, they're not even worried about this. Has Chris Paul's fingerprints all over it. Yes, it does.
That's Chris Paul's fingerprints all over it.
Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, it was 100% a Chris Paul thing. It was like, let's try to hack this game. I'm gonna try to get a foul call when no one's looking. It's like, dude, I don't know. And then you got Wemby in on it. From what I heard, I guess Wemby was like trying to get clarification on the rules before they started. They're saying Wemby asked like 5 to 10 people. I thought it was kind of funny. I mean, but I don't think they technically they didn't break the rules. They just got disqualified because I guess, the powers to be were like, we can't let that slide, or this is going to get even uglier than it already is.
Yeah. And that's, for me, it kind of goes back. At least he was trying. Like, my main problem with the All-Star game is they ain't trying. At least Chris Paul's being his full self here.
Yeah.
And trying as hard as he can. Oh, yeah. He's a psycho, but in a good way. Then there was the dunk contest. And then, as my brother said, Mac McClung did what Blake Griffin thought he was trying to do. What Blake Griffin thought he did in 100%. This one right here. Boom. Dunk over the car. Let's watch it again for fun. It's a beauty right there.
He did slip his foot on the car, which kind of terrified me there at the end. He
the falling down at the end?
Yeah, he nicked it, but I was like, honestly, that kind of adds to it.
Adds to the legend. So that was pretty dope. But I still, once again, you get a guy out of the G League to go back to back to back. I have another theory, though. The NBA players are too tall. It's kind of strange that, you have to call a guy up from the G League to make it entertaining.
No,
I would hold
agree.
out for more money if I were him. You got to sign me to a max deal.
Yeah, I mean, he's carried that thing 3 years straight. I think, to your point, if you think about it, I actually watched the full dunk competition this year. There's only 4 guys. Like, 4 is not terrible, and it really just matters about the last 2. So, what do you do to get Ja Morant and Ant 1 year? Those are the 2 guys. You have to be a high flyer in order to do something cool. Those are the 2 kind of high-flying guys. I think Zach LaVine could probably still get in there and do fine.
Right.
But how do you convince – all you need is 2 guys.
2 all-stars.
2 all-stars, 2 guys that are at the peak of the league. Say, hey, man, here's an extra $500K. Get in there and do that. Something like that. It's like, get her done.
Yeah, you got to do something. Now, what did you think of the format? Did you like the 4 teams tournament style?
I think that I'm a little old school, and I kind of liked it back when it was just East and West.
Mm-hmm.
They did the draft thing there for a little while where it was like, LeBron and KD or LeBron and Steph's team. That was kind of fun too.
Team LeBron, Team Giannis.
But the view of it was the same. I mean, 5 or 6 years straight of just 200-point games walking back and forth down the court. But yeah, I think right now more than ever, it'd be like kind of fun to have East versus West. It's old school. I'm old school in that regard. So
yeah, I agree. My main problem once again is the players just aren't trying. And so you kind of had to do something.
Yeah.
You also gave Kevin Hart way too much time. My biggest complaint of the night was, good Lord, what in the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was that? You got 10 minutes. You have a 30-minute intro, and you have 10 minutes of them just talking. And even Ernie was like, all right, let's get this thing rolling. And then you give Kevin Hart the mic every time. This is my favorite line, by the way. Let me pull this clip up.
Yeah, I want to see this. Is this when he was going back and forth?
I see big men be big men. SGA, get the ball, do work, clear it out. Do what you do.
He looks so
you
annoyed.
wore the mustard color sneakers. Make the mustard colors work.
So says, wrap it up. And it's like, you could tell SGA was annoyed. Like, I don't know. You're trying to make the game more serious, but then you're letting Kevin Hart roast people live over the big screen or over the big microphone. And just, I don't disagree with him, though. He was basically saying, hey, these big guys, Chuck, if you let any more 7-footer shoot threes, kick them off the field, bench them.
Yeah, his whole gimmick, it was kind of annoying there for a while. The only funny part that I saw was, did you see when he was going back and forth with Shaq? It was like right before the last game, I think. Him and Shaq are like making fun of each other's clothes. And Shaq was going back at him. So it was actually pretty hilarious. But I don't know. The whole thing was like, especially the first game was like kind of cringy. It was like, all right, Kevin Hart he was the king of the celebrity all-star game, like 10 years ago, something like that. He won back-to-back years, and that was fun. But it's like, all right, we've kind of changed. And then, they tried to bring in like Mr. Beast and do like some different, like, trying to connect with, I guess, these content creators. And it was just, it was awkward. It was like your dad trying to sea walk at the dance or something. You're like, try to do the gritty. I guess
Lord.
It's like, come on, man. Just stand over there and look cool.
Just do something.
Yeah.
I'm old school like you. I would rather see East versus West, but the players got to try. One of the biggest. So I was thinking about this. All-star games don't really work in certain leagues. Like the Pro Bowl doesn't work because it's a violent sport and the guys don't want to be violent so they have to do it like now they're doing flag football, because everyone's like, oh, the Pro Bowl sucks. And it did for a long time. NHL All-Star game was similar. If you're doing 5-on-5 hockey and you can't hit anybody, it doesn't work. So they've turned it into 3-on-3, and they've done a divisional tournament. So you have the 4 divisions, 3-on-3. Each of them play one period of hockey and then one final. So it's 10 minutes. Yeah, it's actually it's about as good as an all-star game as you can get because it's it's back and forth, high flying. Got a lot of guys get a lot of ice time.
Similar.
But like the only two games that should be the same are baseball and basketball.
Yeah.
Like baseball All-Star game shouldn't change. You still got to throw the ball. You still got to, like, it's not a physical sport per se. And basketball's not full contact. Like, it's physical. I'm not going to deny that, but it's not. And all we're asking the guys to do is play at 80%. We're not even asking them to go, full on, hack-a-shack or anything like that. I think the All-Star games in the past where we get the nostalgia, with Kobe and Michael Jordan's last All-Star game, at least they were trying.
Yeah.
Those early 2000s, where you had Duncan and Shaq and Iverson and Kobe. You had 1 year, 137, 126. The next year, 111, 110. There was another year, 120, 2 to 120. Like, it was great. Early LeBron was in there.
Oh, yeah.
And they were good games, and the scores, every once in a while would get to like 150, but for the most part, they were in the 120s, 130s, and teams would try hard. So I don't really know if they can actually keep the format with and keep the game, and because players just don't care. And I think it's partially like a generational problem. I don't think the new players care that much. And I honestly don't think they care that much about the regular season. Like, I think the playoffs kind of like, if we get home court, we get home court. For a 3 seed, it's fine. They don't seem to care. The last team that really I feel like cared about the regular season was the Warriors trying to get 73-9.
Yeah.
But you're seeing more load management. I don't know.
Well,
it
also,
just seems like the league's got a cancer with players not caring very hard.
KD also had a good point about this. He's like, the league kind of did this to themselves. They turned it into when do people tune in the most? Free agency, because LeBron started this going to Miami, and then trade deadline. It's like, where are people going? That's kind of like the drama, and then it's all about legacy talk in the playoffs. So it's like, if you're not, getting this big peak of viewership from people moving around the league or the playoffs, of course you're not going to care about the regular season. So it just diminishes that a little bit, but. I don't know. I think they'll get it back. I think last year's second half was better because they let the games be a little bit more physical. It seemed like the basketball was just a little better second half of last season. So we'll see what happens this year.
Hopefully so. All right. And now here's what I would do. Well, here are a couple of my favorite. My favorite moment was Joker to Kevin Hart. I thought you were someone's kid. I thought that was my favorite line there.
Ooh, that's good.
What I would do to fix the All-Star game, here's a few different things that I would do. First of all, I would make LeVar Ball the referee.
Oh, boy. Let's go.
just him. No second, third, just him. He can call whatever he wants. That if we're going to keep the game the way it is, but make LeVar Ball the referee. Or do some celebrity refs. If we're going to be like, make it goofy, let's make it real goofy.
There you go.
Now, how I'd actually fix it, I would keep the skills competition, because that's one of my favorite things. Keep the 3-point competition. Rising star game, celebrity game's fine. Now, I would love to add in like a horse, or pig, whichever you want to do it, a trick shot competition, like some mid-range stuff. Eliminate the dunk contest for now. And I would get rid of the All-Star game and make the NBA Cup final that day.
Ooh, I love that. I think we might have talked about that before. That would be great if the NBA Cup peaked then.
Because then you have all the All-Stars there. You have all the celebrities. You have all the drama building up to the game. Boom, NBA Cup final. You have a trophy. You have a game and that way you can also get interest in the NBA Cup.
Maybe even stretch out the NBA Cup a little bit, because I think right now it's only like 6 games of pool play. Maybe make it 10.
Or maybe make it 10.
Yeah, stretch it out.
Ideas.
Yeah. I like that. And then you could do that in Vegas every year.
Yeah.
Or wherever you want. I like LeVar Ball as the ref. I think or any kind of like loud celebrity, like getting them involved in that, I think would be a lot of fun, especially ones that like the players know, or, interacts with the league. I think it'd be awesome. I'm trying to think if I got any fun ones. I mean, I like the idea of doing the one-on-one tournament, but I think that would nobody wants to get hurt is the big thing.
That's the thing.
Players are like, look, we understand the way the contracts work now. The owners they want a longer term asset. I don't want to tear my ACL playing Jason Tatum one-on-one in the middle of the season. So we'll see, man. Let's talk some NHL.
Yeah. So if you want to talk about doing an in-season tournament the right way, the NHL this year, instead of the All-Star game, is doing the Four Nations tournament, which is really, really good hockey. So Four Nations Face-Off is technically its name, and it's Finland, Sweden, Canada, and America. And so they took Russia out for obvious reasons.
Yep.
And so in the future, once the world political scene calms down, it might be a Six-Nation Cup here and there. And what they're using this for is a warm-up for the Olympics. So it works really well because these are all the players. They want to play. They kind of hate each other, which is great. And you have the four best international teams in the world, the defending gold medalists and silver medalists, Canada, and so Finland won the gold, and Canada and the U.S., all competing, all NHL rosters. And it's been great. The U.S. is actually playing about as good as they've ever played. I've seen them. They're very physical. So they absolutely manhandled Finland, which is, I think, what they needed to do. I feel like they've gotten into skills competitions before, but they just manhandled them the first game. So then it was a big game against Canada. And the way this tournament works, 3 games, right? You play each other. You win in regulation, 3 points. You win in overtime, 2 points. You lose in overtime, 1 point. You lose in regulation, 0 points. And the 2 top teams will play in the final. And so, by the way, Canada, with Crosby in a real event, has not lost since 2010. So they didn't win the last Olympics, but no NHL players were there. There's some other things going on. But with Crosby, who's been the best player the last decade, really probably the last 15 years, they don't lose. And the U.S. came out, and here's what happened right after the opening faceoff. Yeah, there for a second. But yeah, it's cool that you have a team that wants to win, another team that wants to win desperately. They're fighting for Olympic spots. They're fighting for their country pride, and it's been good hockey. So the U.S. handled Canada. We beat them 3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were the better team kind of throughout. So now the U.S. has clinched a spot in the final. We'll see how they play. Yeah, USA, 2 regulation wins. Canada might miss the final. They need to win against Finland in regulation. And then they need the U.S. to there's a lot of different. Basically, if they win in regulation, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
But it might be U.S.-Canada again on Thursday for, I don't know what you call it, the gold medal or not. But it's been, this is the way you should do the in-season tournament. You got to figure out a way to get people to care about it, to make it meaningful, to make it like Olympic tryouts, to make it.
Right.
They tried, Team Giannis and Team LeBron. They've tried the European teams versus. They've tried a lot of different things, but it's just hard to get people to care unless there's actually something meaningful there. So love it because the rest of the guys get a break. You get players who get a break who weren't going to qualify, so all the mid-level guys. And then your all-stars are trying to try out for Team Canada, or Team USA or Team Sweden or Team Finland. It's been great to watch. Their ratings have been higher than the Stanley Cup Finals, which is incredible.
That's wild.
Get people talking about hockey, which is kind of a challenge to do in modern times, it seems like. The TGL has outdrawn hockey on ESPN. So that's where
really
the state of the 4 major sports is not really 4 major sports anymore. It's the NFL is the one major sport, and then you got a whole bunch of tier 2 sports. Yeah. But yeah, it's been good. It's been a lot of fun. I like the tournament idea. I like the fact that you made the players care about it. And it's been intense, which is all we really want out of our sports. People that care with some intensity, which kind of goes back the regular season in basketball. And just lacking intensity, man. I don't know what to do. What do we do?
It's hard to get it back once you've lost it.
Mm-hmm.
I think is it's just going to have to be a natural flow of players and the people. That's just kind of how things work. But yeah, I want to tune into that game Thursday. That'd be
Dang,
sick.
Gen Z, just ruining everything again.
Man. Things are changing.
The time. I also thought of a segment maybe for later. I haven't thought of it all, but most annoying athletes, most annoying players.
Yeah, I got
Noah
those.
Lyles and Tyreek Hill are going to go do a race, and Noah Lyles is going to destroy him because he's an actual Olympic sprinter. But I find both of them very annoying, and I was trying to think of like a bracket of most annoying athletes. who would
I
be
mean, I
up?
think
Dwayne Wade is an all-timer for me.
yeah,
Chris Paul's
Dwayne's
on
on.
there.
Yeah, I think I'd even put Westbrook in there
Oh,
sometimes.
Westbrook, all-time
Yeah,
annoying player.
for sure, Dwayne Wade. Like
Pat
you can,
Mahomes right now, a lot of people hate him. He's on the annoying list.
I'm still
I
okay
don't
with
find him
Patty.
annoying. I don't
Yeah,
find him, but
I don't
our
think he's
short, our
annoying.
short with our short with Mahomes getting picked off and brutally sacked is like one of the most popular things we have online right now, and people are basking. Like it's a full-on hate watch.
Oh yeah, everybody loves to hate. Hate us.
Haters gonna hate.
We got anything else to wrap up with?
I
Pretty
think
it.
they all
Pretty
have.
much it,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
Happy President's Day.
And Michael Jordan, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, MJ.